stepping in my way. Cut me to the bone. You don't hear a word I say. Ain't got nothing to choose. Got those 20th century blues.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tarnation TV, live broadcasting here from the Burnt Screwdrivers Raceway in Bentonville, Arkansas. 2.66 miles, 57 laps on the clock. Of course, the damage level is set to moderate because if it was realistic, we wouldn't be bump drafting as hard as we do here every week. But yeah, joined by the usual suspects. My name is Blaine Donland, and of course, my sidekick, co-host, and all-around cool guy, Rod Weston. How you doing, man?
I am doing fine. Glad to be back here watching Super Speedway racing, broadcasting it. You know me, I don't like them as much, but yeah, this Burnt Screwdriver Speedway is really good. Good three-wide racing. Good. These guys are fun to watch, and a great group to broadcast for. So looking forward to it.
This is race number 3 of season number 3. So there's a lot of threes going on. Pretty good turnout again tonight. Of course, we run the Aero 88 mod, which is always a cool, very cool looking mod. Tried, tested, and true. Guys always talk about hitboxes and stuff, and then how certain mods feel a little different. It's got to be perfect on a track like this because there's a lot of bump draft and there's a lot of teamwork going on, and if something's a little bit off, it seems there's fan favorites. There's tons of different mods for this sim. This is definitely one of the top 10. I would say maybe even one of the top 5. But very cool to be here with these guys on Sunday night. And of course, next Sunday we'll be here again for race number 4. But of course, after 3 races, we'll take a look at the points here in a second. Where are they? There we go. See Brian Rawson in first, Garland Oaks in second, followed by Ken Roberts, Randy Waugh, and Brian Wolf. That's your top 5. Dennis McCarthy's right there with John Godfrey, Bob Pumpkin Sire, David Chin, Mark Paglia, Perry Bond, Dale Shalinsky, Robert Spring, Seth Cole, Denny Carroll, Ulysses Sandoval in 18th. Ed Finley. Oh, did I mess that up? No, sorry. Ulysses Sandoval's in 16th. Ed Finley. We got Dinger, Jeffrey Elliott, Gary Heiser, and Chris Elliott. And then there's a couple more will be added to this list after tonight's race because we got a couple of different guys in here today. So, yeah, a good turnout here at ASR on Sundays. A little bit shorter race, a little bit different rules. They track points a little bit differently here too, so it appeals to a lot of people. The shorter lap count is cool, especially on a Sunday night.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because they do the old school style of points, but they don't do the old school points exactly because they don't do the 170 to win, 5 to lead a lap, and 5 to lead the most. I forget what it is, but what the actual points are, but they're a lot less. It's just the same formula, just instead of leading and getting 5, leading you get 1, stuff like that. And it's a difference about 1s, 2. But looking at those points there, I see, Seth Cole's not having a whole lot of luck. He's the last driver in 14th that's raced both races, and he's down there in last place, actually tied with Denny Carroll, who's only ran 1 race. So Seth's not had a whole lot of luck this season so far.
Yeah, the points are for a win, you get 40. And then there's a 5-point difference to second place, gets 35 points. And there's a 2-point difference to third, they get 33 points. And then 32, 31, 30, it goes down. Every position after third is a 1-point gap. So really hitting podium is what you need to do to really kind of get yourself ahead of these guys, ahead of your opponents. Because especially with a win, you got a 5-point difference. That's a pretty big deal. And then, like you said, you're going to lead a lap if you're going to win because you're going to lead at least 1 to get the win. So that'll end up being 41 points. And then if you end up leading the most, you'll get 42. So, it's a big deal. That's a cool way of doing it. There's bonus points there for podium finishing.
It's cool too. So it's 8 race season, so it really does kind of put the emphasis on winning. You don't have to win every race. That's not the way it goes. We've seen Rodney Sullivan's couple of seasons back really have a great chance at winning it and actually had missed 2 races. But unfortunately, the last race of the season had to get moved back 1 week. He couldn't make it, and he couldn't come and try to fight for that. But it does make for good racing, and like I said, it does make an emphasis on winning, but you don't necessarily have to.
No. And we're following, right now we're on Robert Spring. Most of these guys for season 3, it was put out there as an idea to run your favorite football team as a sponsor. So some of these guys got different car. We're missing the 77. Can you see the 77?
I will have to see if I can find
Matt
it.
McIntyre. I'm showing him in a generic Napa Auto. That's one
Oh,
of my
yeah, I see
generics.
him. Got him in a wireframe, red wireframe, black car with a red wireframe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I
Does
don't
it
have
look
that.
like that's not a generic, or is that what your generics look like?
Yeah, I don't have that setup that you have in yours to give the generic cars the.
Yeah,
You
Frank,
get that.
Frank Divins hooked me up with some cool custom generics.
Yeah, I get that from you then, but.
Yeah, we got Seth
They got
Cole out there. We got, oh yeah, I forgot. We got some new guys here. We got Richard Little, I think, is his name, 102.
Cody Lamas from like we raced or broadcast with him on Maverick on Tuesdays.
Yep. Yeah, he's usually at a hockey game. That's how
Yeah.
we know the Panthers aren't playing tonight because he's got season tickets, I think. And whenever they're playing in Florida, Lamas is going to be there. So yeah, so
Yeah.
new names, like I said, added to the list tonight. So this is going to be pretty neat. But ASR has a couple different series, throughout the week as well. So there's lots of racing over here at All Star Racing.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping that right now their Wednesday night is kind of shut down, and I keep kind of poking it a little bit, and going, hey, you guys gonna do something? Gonna do something? Because that's the open setup night, and I like open setup. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I think Brian was talking about that. I think it's starting back up in February or something. I can't remember what they're doing, but it's on hiatus right now. But that's their open setup night. Yeah, that's a cool. I got to get out there and try that. Because I used to race open when I would race against the AI. When you're offline, of course it's open, right? Like you're messing with tire pressures and spring thicknesses and all these different things, So it's kind of neat to run open, especially in a league setup. How many races do they run here? Like, they do a full season, or they do like
I think
10 races?
I think they pretty much do a full season, and I think it kind of almost mirrors the Cup schedule, but I could be wrong. I've only ran a couple of races with them. When Brian had talked about it a little bit, and I think it's Postal that runs. No, it's not Postal. Yes, it is Postal that runs it on Wednesday, and I said, oh yeah, I'd really like to try that, especially when Martinsville comes around. And Robert Spring had reached out to me and said, hey, they're doing Martinsville this week. You got a good setup? I'm like, do I have a good setup? I went and played with them, and unfortunately, the random breakdown got me. But I was running in the top 3 most of the night. Led a little bit, and just like I said, random breakdown got me, and didn't finish the race, but a lot of fun. And I started racing with them right after that, and I had a blast with them.
Yeah, you think that the competition is stiff when you come out here in a fixed setup. Imagine in the open setup, the guys that really know how to hone that open setup. That's the guys who are going to win are the guys who really know what they're doing. It would be tough to win in an open setup, because changing all the little minute things, especially to really fit your driving style. Like if you find the fastest way around this track, but if you drive different from somebody else, completely, you couldn't even jump into somebody else's setup and run that car. You'd be spinning out all over the place.
Sometimes, like with Robert Spring, I gave him my setup, and I said to him, I gave him a what do you call it, like a turned down version of it. But I told him, I said, first thing you want to do is change brake bias, because I run 58% rear brake bias at Martinsville. And he actually did really well with it, once we tamed it down a little bit. But a lot of people couldn't get into my setup and drive it, because it turns very well.
With the 58 to the back, is the brake bias usually up front, right?
Yeah, you basically, most of your people will run it around anywhere from 68 to 70. And anybody that runs it a little lower than that got really good brake control. And that's the key to it. And that's a plus to have here on the super speedways. I was out there practicing a little bit, and kind of come in hot on the pits, and I was just locking a left front tire up. So somebody who's like a pretty good late braker or a really hard braker, having the brake bias where they have it is just a little bit too far forward for me.
Right.
Most people, it's perfect. Yeah, they're running it at 70%. Or me, I'd be running at probably 65 here.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Yeah, just to have it off those front tires a little bit more, right? So you're not locking the fronts up.
You just want to get it so you don't lock the fronts, but you don't want to get it so far that you lock in the rears. That even creates even more problems, because then you come in and which is okay to a certain extent, but you can't put any turn into it. So when you come off the speedway here and you turn down, you can't be really on the brakes while you're trying to turn the car. You know what I mean? Especially here.
Oh,
And
with
so-
a rear dominant bias, yeah, because it'll just kick right around on you.
So, and I'll drive quite a ways, and I'll, till I get on top of pit road before I brake, and it does have a bit of a turn to it there, and so you can't have too much rear brake bias or you'll end up spinning out. I've seen people do that, but some people, 70% brake bias is right. Other people, it's not enough. It just really depends on your driving style and your braking.
Yeah, and I've always liked experimenting with it. Again, only offline. I've actually never raced online with an open setup before. But I have downloaded guys' setups. Like I've got setup packs and stuff from different leagues. I'll actually put them on their websites.
Yep.
And then you get out there and you start running and you're like, wow, man, like when you switch setups, it's a completely different car. And then some of the setups are pretty cool because there's a notepad in the garage, and it helps when the guys put the notes in there, like, it's extremely loose until about 10 laps is when it'll tighten up. Like, oh, okay. So then I'll drive the thing, and then, yeah, sure enough, once you get that thing warmed up, it's unstoppable. But you got to get there first.
Yeah, so with me, I basically downloaded every one of the Volker Hackman setups. He was the guy that made setups. And the very first thing you had to do with it is change the brake bias, because that guy ran it at 50% all the time. They're fast. And it's a really good base setup to start with for someone of like my style of driving. You don't really have to tweak much. Usually I play around with the springs for a little bit, if I'm like really, really far off. And then if it's just minute or just need a little bit, then it's just go and play around with the shocks. I already know what to do. Like with this setup we're running right here, I would actually change the front shocks so that it's better off too.
Right. Yeah, later in the run too, you add more tape down there. Hopefully, you get more downforce, and it.
Yeah, with the open.
And then if you got too much tape and you're stuck behind somebody, you're not getting any air. It can overheat. So it's like some setups are set up to lead a pack, some are set up to follow.
Oh yeah, there's a guy two guys that I raced with, Robert Loudermilk, and I think the other kid whose name was Jimmy Walker. And to watch these two guys on super speedways, it was incredible. They would push all the way around the whole track, right around in the corners and everything. They would be glued to each other. And, I've got one of his old setups. I hope I still have it. I lost some of my setups there. But he had gave me two setups. And he said, well, this setup here, this is an out front setup. This here, that's a push setup. You can't change it during the race. So, you got to kind of figure out where you're going to be. So me as well, I'm going to try starting in the back, work my way to the front, try to be there at the end of the race, and then possibly at the end of the race, try to
Blaine,
go for the win or whatever.
You. I don't know
Where
how
Robert,
live you are, but we're going to have to do a quick reset
out front, so he would have the gearing. I believe it's a little bit higher, so you'd run a little bit taller gear to run out front. And now it sounds weird, but that's it, because you need to pull more than you need to push. So neat. There's a lot to it, especially when it comes to the super speedways. You give me a decent setup to start with, I'll make tweaks to it, but it's really hard to get them right.
And it's funny too, because you keep in mind we're talking about a simulator that came out in like late 2002.
Yeah.
But NASCAR Racing 2003 season, right across the bottom of the screen there. This is a thing. This has been around for over 22 years or whatever it is now, and phenomenal that we all still drive it. And that stuff they had in there, and that's what Papyrus did. They always made racing simulators, from Grand Prix Legends to the IndyCar games to all the NASCAR games, and they were always simulators. Even racing IndyCar racing, because that was the first Papyrus sim I bought, and the graphics were 1993, so it looked bad. It was all just big flat polygons, but you still had telemetry coming off of that car And
the-
you
and
could
the
hook
funny-
that right rear tire, and like you could do all this stuff, and you could change the pressures, and you could change the spring stiffness, and you could do all that in that game. And it
Well, yeah,
affected the car tremendously. You know, these guys had this simulator physics thing figured out a long time ago.
It's neat though, is if you remember if you ever had playing NASCAR, just the original NASCAR game, you'd come off the corner at Bristol. Now, you know, Bristol's a small, short track, and the car in front of you could be just entering the corner, and you would see just a black dot.
Right.
Now, the same thing. You can see that
Yeah.
you can see the mosquito hanging off the spoiler going, ah!
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because as the cars would get farther away,
Yeah.
the graphics would deteriorate to the point.
Yep.
Yeah, it would just be a cube, you
Yep.
know, or you just see the tires with like the color of the car was red, so you'd see like a red line connecting the two tires, and then as
Yeah.
you got closer, it would start to look like a car. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now, yeah, we've got full high definition graphics, and you know, then it looks like this. But and even this game still looks fantastic. You know, it's a little
yeah.
bit dated because it's 20 plus years old. But it's not
Amazing.
bad. It kind of hit the mark right there, and that there was that section in time where like these games. I mean, we see like Mike Mangialardi is out here racing in some of these leagues, and he's running a Black Hawk Down Delta Force paint job on his car, and that game came out I think in 2003 2002, like right in, and they're still playing it. You know, they've there's a rabid fan base behind that thing, and it stays alive, you know. And the same with NHL 2004. That's another one that I can play right now in like full widescreen high definition. The community has all the new teams in the game somehow. They've taken Don Taylor, the commentator, they've taken the commentators' voices and been able to create the players' names that play now. So words these guys never said in 2004, they can make them say it now with AI training. So, welcome to Las Vegas, or the Knights are playing the Oilers. Like they would have never said that in 2004 because the Knights didn't exist.
Yep.
But now with AI training, they can put these guys, the entire dialogue that exists in the game, and you can just say, AI just learns how to talk. So now you just type what you want to say, boom, they put it in the game. And I'm like, that's another game that is probably one of EA Sports' greatest hockey simulators ever, because of all the behind the scenes tweaks you can do with all the little sliders and the setups. And much like this game, there's so much stuff you can do behind the scenes to make it, play exactly the way you want to play. And people still use that game to simulate like hockey games, the way they do offline races in this, and simulate leagues and different years of NASCAR. Guys will rerun the year with a specific car sets, and it seemed to be like the early 2000s. Like those games just never went away because they were perfect.
And that's what Papyrus did. The Project Wildfire made it even better. But we have just gotten through the random. They doing a random qualifying of this time, so we're doing that. So we brought Brian Wolf up into the booth, and he's going to give us a little more information about tonight's race.
Howdy, guys. Thanks for having me. Hope everybody's well.
We are well. What do you got for us, man? We're in here, race 3 already. We're almost halfway through this thing.
Beautiful, right? I just wanted to get in here for just a second, as usual, and thank all our sponsors, Charlie Bryant, David Chin, and Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales for sponsoring us and giving us the green light on all this stuff, man. We hope we're making them proud. Race 3, season 3. Here we are. Man, we're looking at a record crowd tonight. This thing is really gaining some traction. I know we had a couple of speed bumps last week on the business end of things, but we got through it, and here we are tonight. I hope we put on a good show for you guys.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good one, man. Ross, and you guys are trying to catch this guy now. Like he's got a pretty good little point lead there on Garland Oaks and Ken Roberts, and and a couple new faces out here tonight too.
Absolutely. And speaking of Rawson, yeah, he is here tonight. He's a pretty humble guy, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. He must be stopped. He must be stopped.
Somebody
the guy
stop
is just
me.
on a roll.
So basically, what you're saying is you're going to put a bounty on him is what you want to do.
Oh, it's been there, for the last 2 weeks now, because he's the defending champion of the series, last season. So he must be stopped. And yeah, we got a bunch of new faces tonight. We're looking at maybe a record crowd here tonight. Levi McIntyre in the 77, and as Seth Cole has been racing, except for the first one he covered for us. He got a provisional for that, so he's doing well. He had a good finish last week. It's always a pleasure to have throwing elbows with the celebrities that we got here tonight. But him and then a guy I haven't seen for a while. I'm missing his name. Cody Lamas. Cody Lamas, number 84. So we're looking forward to having those guys along. Hopefully, they'll get into it just like we have. And like I said, last week we had a couple speed bumps, but I think we're here, man. It's we're ready to do what we do.
So we were talking a bit before here, Rod and I were, about your open series on Wednesdays. What are the plans with that thing?
Yeah, I did want to plug that too. Our Wednesday night is our open setup cup series. We call it the Premier Cup series. It is open setups, and it is also, we use the BR15 Cup physics. So it's very, very challenging. It's all up-to-date scoring. The way that Nelson Rodriguez, or Postal as we call him, I want to thank those guys too. All the other admins that run the other series around here. I mean, this is it's getting to be just a well-oiled machine. Our Wednesday night series is going to be huge this season because it is the most challenging NR 2003 level you can get to. You know what I mean? It's up-to-date scoring. It's there is a chase playoffs format. It's stage racing, just like they do in real NASCAR. We follow that schedule. It's the big boy cars with the big boy setups. Is it
the actual cup physics?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the original cup physics. It's not the CTS or the GNS or whatever. The other ones like we run here tonight is the GNS, I think, or the CTS physics. But yeah, the cars there, on Wednesday nights are a little bit bulkier. They're a little bit heavier, a little more horsepower. You know what I mean? They're a handful, and it is definitely challenging. It is definitely challenging. Chuck Taylor, who's not here with us tonight, is actually the 2025 champion. So we want to congratulate him on that. It is not an easy thing to do. So come on out Wednesday nights. And we'll have a couple promo spots for you guys to show maybe in the upcoming weeks here.
I will be there. I will be there racing on Wednesday.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely come out. It's been a blast, man. The way Nelson Rodriguez runs that whole series is just excellent. I mean, we've gained a bunch of drivers this season when they came out and gave it a try and see how it's run and everything like that. So it's just been fun. It's just been a blast, and it is extremely challenging. I can't say that enough. So if you think you got what it takes, man, come on out and give it a try, man. It's interesting.
So say like for me, for instance, like I've downloaded tons of setups over the years and raced them offline against the artificial intelligence. Online, it's always fixed. What would be a good spot to start for anybody coming in there that might be they're like, oh my, I can't race against guys with open. Like, where do I even start? Well, because you do have the base setups that come with the tracks. Yep, so you could start with an expert setup and then just kind of tweak a couple things here and there would be a good baseline.
So it comes with the fast. The expert's something you have to download, but it's not hard to find. And yeah.
Right. Like expert was a separate download? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Didn't come with experts.
To answer that question, though, the thing that I did, if you're not real familiar with open setups, which I am not, I'm a dummy when it comes to setting these cars up or understand how it goes. So I'm always riding on borrowed stuff. These guys are always willing to share their stuff and help you get faster, and help you in the areas you need. Some of these guys are really expert at these setups. Me, I'm not. I'm not even close to even being a novice. You know what I mean? Right. I'm racing on borrowed stuff, and I just do the best I can with what I have. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, there's been a couple times where, I had opportunities to I've had a bunch of top 5 finishes and, top podium finishes, on borrowed stuff. So sometimes you can just get it, everything working together and clicking. And I got about 2 minutes to give these guys a driver's meeting before we go green.
Oh, geez.
So yeah, I appreciate you guys having me up here for a few minutes, just to thank our sponsors again, and thank you guys for doing what you do. It's going to be, it's going to be fun, and hopefully we put on a good show for you tonight, and maybe with a little bit of luck and a little bit of, whatever,
Talent.
I'll be in here talking to you guys afterwards. If not, I will see you next week, man. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Brian.
We'll get him up there so he can do his driver's meeting. But.
Yeah, forget about that. He's got work to do. I have found the 77. It was uploaded to the drive, so I just sent it to you on Facebook. If you want to bail out and put that in there,
I'll try that.
Yeah. So it was a late edition, but it is in there.
I was just gonna go through the list of the flying, but I'll let you do that while I get the car.
Yeah, I'm just joining back into the survey here. Yeah, we had that's the thing. It's very, Brian runs a very tight ship here. And it's like, if you don't have a car file on there, he's really not a big fan of that. And it makes sense because it looks weird on the broadcast. Like I said, Frank Divins was awesome enough. He hooked me up with custom generics. So you don't, I see it because I know what the generics look like, but nobody online would really know. I mean, most of the guys who play this thing, it's the font that they type on the numbers with is always the same. It's just this really boring font. And you'd be like, man, why is that font so boring? I'm like, well, because that's a generic. But at least the cars actually look a little bit different. Either way, let's see what the qualifying order is here this evening.
Starting off with Seth Cole got the pole, Perry Bond outside pole, Brian Rolfe in third, Dennis McCarthy in fourth, John Godfrey is in fifth, Ed Finley is in sixth, seventh is one of the new guys, I think it was Levi McIntyre tonight.
Yes.
And the sixth is at 99, not the 77 as he said before. Then we got Garland Oaks in eighth, Matt McIntyre in the 77 is in ninth, and Gary Heiser is going to round out the top 10. I'd let you continue on from there, and I beat you in qualifying.
Perfect. Yeah, Robert Spring in the 11th, right next to Randy Waugh. And of course, we've got Brian Rawson, the points leader, is right there next to Ken Roberts. Greg Palmer, Mark Paglia, Richard Little. Is it Richard Little? I can't remember.
Look it up.
Anyway, Mr. Little in the 102 car in 19th. Ulysses Sandoval. Actually, that wouldn't be 19th. That would be 17th. Ulysses Sandoval, Cody Lamas, and Bob Pumpkin Sire in 20th spot. And this is lottery qualifying, so everything just kind of gets thrown up in the air, and then they land where they land. So
Yep.
This is the way to do it.
It's a different way of doing it, like you did the qualifying before. Now it makes it more challenging not so much challenging for Seth Cole tonight because he's going to get the best pit stall on the pit road. He's going to start up front with Perry Bond. Both of them guys, excellent. Going down the list really quick, I don't see a non-great super speedway driver here. But, they're going to have a little bit more of an advantage starting up front. And, Ryan Rossum, he's our points leader. He's, not super deep in the field, but he's back there a ways, And then you got Bob Sire. He's starting, in the 20th position tonight, shotgun on the field.
Oh, did it just puke on me? Of course it did. Game crash. But yeah, having the first pit stop, like you said, no, I didn't. See, I tried it. Seth told me, he says, just let the timer count down and it'll never crash. And sure enough, I get in the car, I retire, I get back, I go on the options menu, and then the game will crash every time.
Freaking new guys, I tell you.
Maybe it'll work this time. Maybe it won't crash. But no, it's consistently will crash every time.
Yeah.
But, I'm just going to leave it from now on. Usually I do. It's only 20 seconds, but one less button to press too. I should just trust the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to start setting up my pit lane cameras. But yeah, these guys do half a pace lap. They start on the back. I wouldn't be surprised if Brian came in my earphone here and asked me if I was doing okay, because he'll see me fall out and panic. We'll get her back going here. That's the thing. Once you're in there for qualifying, you're guaranteed. You can always come back in the race no matter what happens. So
See this? You really look at it. There's a lot of Chevy, the SS Monte Carlos in the field.
Oh yeah.
We got a few other odds and ends. I don't know what actually Ed Finley's car is supposed to be, but I actually am got to get back to it. But painting the car up for Robert Spring, that will be a Dodge Challenger. Like a new style Dodge Challenger. It's pretty cool. But
Oh, cool. Okay.
a few Buicks out there. I haven't figured out exactly what Seth Cole is driving for a car. We're gonna have to ask him that sometime. It looks like a Nova, but I'm not sure. Green flag is out. Let's see, looks like Perry Bond. Oh, he didn't get quite. Seth Cole got the better run. Perry Bond right down to the bottom, right behind him. You'll see the middle line is the way to pretty much be once they get up to speed. But like you can see, they're down to that bottom of the groove. Getting up to speed is not a bad place to be. Brian Wolf not content with staying behind Perry Bond. Him, John Godfrey, and 99. I got to remember his name now. McIntyre. Yeah. 299 up there in the top. He's got Dennis McCarthy. And Ed Finley behind him, Gary Heiser. The whole group pretty much went to the high side. Ooh, John Godfrey got just a little bit too much of a tap in the middle of the tri-oval. Just missed him up just a little bit. Didn't hurt him much at all. Just got him a little out of shape. As you can see, Seth Cole now, he went to that high side because he could see that momentum coming. Then you got Ken Roberts way up on the high side up there trying to make something happen.
High side's going to be the favorite one. Oh,
Gary Heiser's around.
Or is that?
Gary Heiser.
Probably going to stay green on that one. Nope, yellow is up.
I'm not a big fan of Pepsi, but Greg Palmer's running that old school Pepsi car. And even though it's a Pepsi car, I've always kind of liked that paint scheme. That goes along with Ken Roberts. They're all running the old Buick. It's kind of a nice looking car. We find out what happened to Gary Heiser.
We are backing it up here now. And here we are at an instant replay. Heiser in the middle here. Looks like they're 3 wide, almost 4 wide back there. Just 3 wide, though. Certain camera angles make it look worse than it actually is.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like Palmer and Heiser got together there. Helicopter view would be the best one. No, it's the 102. Yeah, the 102 of Little slid out of his lane just a little bit and tagged the back corner there.
Just clipped him.
But yellow did come up.
That'll save them guys that got involved in that. Don't think he hit anything too hard. It just more, ripped up his tires a bit. You need to throw a new set of tires on that thing, he'll be good to go. Don't count him out. He'll be back up there.
Yep.
Say some of these guys in here are relatively new, but I know like Cody Lamas, we've seen him over to the Maverick. He's a good super speedway racer. I don't see too many what you'd call a lame duck out here in super speedway racing. They're all pretty good.
Yeah, this is good company, that's for sure. Watching most who's going to take the pits early. Looks like some of them are going to do it. John Godfrey going down there. The man behind why this track looks as cool as it does. I always got to say thanks to John. He does a lot of work behind the scenes and, not really behind the scenes. Like we're looking at what he did. This is Talladega, but Talladega is not a night track. Talladega also, different logos, different wall textures. And he actually over at RTG on Thursdays widened out the pit road to be wider than what you're seeing here.
I think everybody that I kind of saw just basically fuel only stops. They were guys that weren't running up near really too close up at the front. Come in, we only did a couple of laps, but that's a couple more laps you can go further. Maybe separates you from some of the other guys when they pit, or maybe the caution comes out and helps you out. You always think in strategy through the whole thing.
Always, even this early in the race, it's always going to be strategy. There's a good look at John Godfrey in the 711. We'll roll through the field here. There's
I
Dennis
was gonna-
McCarthy.
I was going to kick out of Denny Carroll. And as soon as I started racing with him, he realized that I knew strategy. He usually, whatever I do, he followed. Because that's having the right strategy sometimes can really pay off.
Yeah, if you want to learn how to do something, just follow some of these guys around. Everybody in this community is always willing to help. There's Robert Spring, Cody Lamas back there. Obviously, the Panthers aren't playing in Florida tonight because Cody's here.
Yeah.
Seth Cole, your leader. Brian Wolf on the outside. Terry Bond. And there's Levi McIntyre right there in the 99. That's a cool looking vintage. Oh, does he even have an open face helmet? Cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's nice. Yeah.
That's just the painters getting a little creative and basically painting over it and making it look like a face.
Yeah, because the helmets are always closed face, but yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Well, Matt McIntyre's got open face too. So is Godfrey. I never even noticed that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're having some fun.
Yep.
And that's the kind of thing. I had a guy once that wanted me to do up a bunch of old modifieds. Just sent me pictures.
Okay.
And said, can you paint these up? And of course, the modifieds of today's era, you really can't see the motor. You just got kind of headers that are, popping out the side. If you go to any of the mods that are out there, that's the way it is. I literally painted the open motor so that, it looked more like a realistic car. And it took a little time to do, but it was pretty neat. And all said and done, they all look just about like the old cars that they were running.
Yeah, that's neat. You can do a lot of cool things with the paint. I know like Sullins will do the numbers on the doors look reflective.
Yep.
Because he's always got that same texture that he puts inside the numbers. So, there's no chrome layer in this. Like iRacing has a reflective layer. When you paint, like if you were doing iRacing, you would paint your car and then you would actually paint an additional alpha layer using, I think it's a combination of like, the way I used to do it was like neon pink and neon green.
Right.
And then depending how transparent one or the other was, it would be either matte or glossy. There's tutorials online how to do it.
Yeah.
But you could make like an all matte black car, so the thing just looked like sandpaper. But then you could put numbers on it that looked like they were mirrors.
Yeah.
So if you had, which was pretty neat, like you could have a green car that looked like a normal glass with like matte black stripes on it with text that looked like mirror. So it was really, you could get some really cool effects doing that, but you had to submit both files had to have like the same name or whatever. It was a neat little trick in the paint room to, elevate the aesthetic. It was pretty cool.
I don't know how, but somehow Matt Paglia got a lap down, so he is going to be our lucky dog. As the lights go out from the pace car, he will be headed around the pace car and pick up the back of the field.
Was Mark late to start, or did he maybe have a connection issue?
I didn't, like I said, I'm not sure what happened. That's probably what I would guess, if that's what it is, but...
You'll see him there go around.
Talking about Wednesday nights to play my RV there yet. I race sometimes on Wednesdays. We're gonna have to find a night like Monday or something where neither one of us are broadcasting or racing.
Yeah,
That's
that looks like a lot of fun.
It does.
We should broadcast that.
Yes. Oh, we could. No, they do. I mean, people to do it.
Yeah. Brad and I broadcasted a match that we had in like WWF No Mercy on Nintendo 64 because I got an emulator on my computer.
We did that, but we have to do that on Turbo.
We would, yeah. Yeah. This main channel you're watching now, Tarnation TV, is where all the professional broadcasts and the family-friendly ones happen. Where the Turbo channel is more of a loosey-goosey kind of. I was racing at Talladega Nights last weekend, I think, and I missed the race yesterday. Oh, you guys probably didn't race because of Thanksgiving.
Did race.
But
sprint races.
Right. The week before, I hadn't broadcasted from the cockpit in a while, so I fired up Turbo and fired up my different setup there. And
So you're saying that people got to see you beat me?
Yes,
Ah,
from my perspective. And
Yes,
Seth was
Seth was-
broadcasting it live like we are right now.
right.
So he's broadcasting it like you're watching a race, where I was broadcasting from the cockpit.
Yeah.
So you could have had picture in picture if you wanted to get that complicated. Have my cockpit view on one monitor and then have Seth's FRM broadcast on the other one.
The
Watching
lights are
Mark
off.
come back around to join the back of the pack, and we will
This car is headed down pit road.
rejoin the front
Still
line.
got a few minutes to go. Remember, it's not on the middle of the corner. It's the end of the corner, so Cole's getting out of stepping up a little lead there on Brian Wolf. Brian Wolf's going to come back up to him, see who gets the good start this time. I'm thinking that with Perry Bond right behind Seth Cole, once that green comes out and they get to contact, the green flag is out. I think you'll see Perry Bond get right up there and give him a
Seth's
shove.
gonna slide out. Yeah.
See, I picked that one totally wrong. Seth's got a really good start, went right to the high side.
Text message. Oh, Seth's changing his mind, going back down the bottom. See that he can see in the mirror that top line is not tight enough. Brian is way out in front. Who's Brian in front of the 99 there? So Seth opted to go back down. Now he's back up again.
I go with a minute.
77.
I had to shut the phone off so we didn't get that anymore. But the momentum stayed with the bottom, and now, they're just starting really getting up to full speed, full song, really getting them engines singing. For that first time, usually the bottom works pretty good. And then once that top side gets built up, ooh, there goes Randy Wallace.
Nice save.
Wow,
Wow.
what a save
right.
that was. I don't know if he lost a lot of ground. I know Gary Heiser was right behind him, so kind of looks like he's not going to lose the draft. That was a very good save.
Here's on board with Wah. Skating sideways. We'll back that up again here a little bit farther this time. Coming through the turn, through the triover here, 192 mile an hour in the draft. Now bump in the corner from the 99, but the 21. And Corey just watched Dad make the save of the year right there.
The thing you needed was the wheel turned on so you could see how much that wheel was fighting back and forth.
That's the thing. Yeah, I shut the wheel off. You know what?
I do
You're
the
right.
same thing.
You know what? You're right. Let's turn the wheel on and watch that again. I want to see.
You're figuring that out. They are 3 wide, going crazy up here.
Yeah.
Up there. And they started. Ken Roberts and Greg Palmer started a third groove. They abandoned it. Then another one started, and there's some racing going on all over the place. Just throw a blanket over everybody. It's crazy.
That's funny. The wheel doesn't move. So anyway, back to the front of the line here.
Yeah, you know why I wouldn't do that? Just because you're not in every play. You're not. It's
My
not your
replay,
replay.
yeah. If it was my car, like if I was racing and it would show it, but it's Randy, so it's not. Yeah, 3 wide. We'll get back up the front here. This is live.
Matt McIntyre was able to get. Oh, geez, he got a little bit of Perry Bond and Off and Seth Cole. Oh, they're just bouncing off each other. But I was just gonna say, McIntyre, curse of the Tarnation TV curse.
Yeah.
Starting to talk about
Seth
him. He's
Cole
just taking the
was
lead.
slammed.
Oh, Sire come off the track, and Matt McIntyre was almost to a stop, and then he got pounded into by Bob Sire, who had just was sliding out of control. Very nice of him, though, that Bob Sire did push Seth Cole back over before he left. Sportsmanship there.
Yeah, save you the toe. Yeah, it got real crowded in the corner there, and it's just a little bit of a bob and a weave. We
Yep.
should have weaved and bobbed. Yeah, a lot of guys involved in that one.
Not so much as there was last week, but that we had I think the first rest, the rank last week pretty much took the whole field. I think Danny Carroll was the only one that wasn't involved in it. He was our eventual winner. was unfortunate for Seth Cole. He was on the high side, up front. Look at that. We got Robert Spring. He managed to make his way through that debacle and he's led a lap. So
Yeah, let's go back and see that actually, because
the good thing is
he was actually in front of it. Yeah, he was in
But-
front of it when that happened.
He's going to stay out. I don't know if I agree 100% with that. He's already led the lap, but he's going to stay out. The little in the 102 is also going to stay out. Let me see if we can find his name.
Dave.
It just says
I just saw it
name.
on TeamSpeak. It's Dave Little. Sorry, I thought it was Richard. I don't know why I thought it was Richard Little. I must have known Richard Little in high school or something. It's funny how I messed the names up. I don't even know where I got that from.
Hey, we mess the names up all the time. We are
That is true.
professionals.
Yeah.
We are
But I could-
professionals at that.
He's got his last name in the game, but he's got his full name on TeamSpeak. So it's Dave Little, number 83.
So you got a mixture of pit stops there. About the first 6 cars that came off did not take tires fuel only. Everybody else after that, starting with John Godfrey, took right sides at least. So there's a few different strategies there. You could probably run the whole race without changing tires and be okay. They do make a slight difference, so if you ran the whole race and then at the last run you put 4 tires on it, it probably would help a little. But some people, most of the time when they pit, they'll only take 2, unless, you get in a situation like Barry Heiser did earlier where he spun around. Obviously you'd take 4 for that.
So what do you think the strategy is on Spring staying out? He's just maybe anticipating another yellow, maybe?
That could be. I think that would be that, or he just wanted to make sure that he did lead that lap. We'll see when we come back around here to find out whether or not he decides to go down pit road. We got to get him in the top 3. He's got to get some redemption from his interview with Seth Cole on the Flat Out Network the week we were doing SMO. He finished 3rd, and he was a little nervous. And he said if it was me, it wouldn't have been as bad, but with Seth, and I guess he got it. I've listened to it. It was kind of funny. He was a little nervous.
FRN's a big deal, man. That's
Yeah.
one of the best broadcasters we got, Seth Cole and his crew over there. Looks like Spring and Lamas, and we got Brian Wolf in there too. I think we're all coming down.
Now they can do about 20 laps, 19 to 20 laps on fuel, depending on where you're running. Obviously, if you're running out front, you're going to use more fuel. And then a lot of depends on too if they stay single file or double file. The guys that are further back will get better fuel mileage. When you start, getting up into the 3 wide, it doesn't slow down as much. But Robert decided to take the right side tires. There's a few drivers that Ryan Rove came in, he's taking tires. A lot of it too, though, is just, you want to lead a lap, he gets out there, he's done that. Now you go out and you got to work your way back up towards the front. But as he said to me earlier, Brian, that's his Robert Spring, he said he's just going to try to stay out of trouble, miss the big one, and, hopefully he can be there at the end. Currently, we got nobody out of the race yet, which is good.
I was wondering about Seth. That's because he was just an extended pit stop there, but it looks like they fixed the bumper actually. I was wondering if they were going to be able to do that. But it's all flattened out now. It was crushed in there pretty good. The roof still has some damage on it though.
Yeah.
The roof looks a little crumpled.
When he
Maybe
bounces
maybe
around
that
like
helps
that,
right side down for us. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, it might help the air either miss the spoiler or get to the spoiler. Or I think that would probably make it miss the spoiler, which would make him faster. And the downforces from the top of the car, I think more aerodynamic. I guess I'm not 100% sure how that would work out, but
Yeah. You can definitely know that he did take damage, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. He got a little bit of a different effect on the downforce there.
Going back
Look at
again.
that. Get that spoiler though on the back of it. You know, I mean, he almost looks like one of those cheater spoilers where it's laying out flat. You know.
Yeah. Thanks again, everybody watching the race live on YouTube. Of course, David Chin, Bryant Motorsports, Fluid Studios, everybody involved for having us call this race, this series on Sunday is super cool.
Yep.
Mr. Bryant Chin, everybody up there that is responsible for the sponsorship. That's why we've got stuff like their name plastered all over everything, because they put the funds up to get us in here to do this.
Surprised Dave Chin's not racing tonight.
That is surprising. He's usually around there, but he is on the YouTube channel. Good luck, guys. Thank you, David. Randy Watts out there too. Let's Go Racing Corey. And wow, what a wreck from DVV45. But yeah, thanks everybody involved, of course, watching it live, watching it after the fact when it's not live. Just showing an interest in the product. And of course, ASR for showing an interest in the product, because they requested us that we do this and gave us $1 million. So we said yes.
There's 11 people watching it, and we only got 1 like. I tell you, I always have to remember say that, because nobody seems to like what we do, I guess.
No, but the view counts.
That's right. I don't know how all the algorithm works. I
don't even care.
Yeah.
It's always like, don't you wish you could get, you could get paid for the YouTube thing? I'm like, we kind of do, because they pay us to do this.
Yeah.
for them. Like YouTube doesn't, but the league does.
Yeah.
And any special events we do, you usually just refuse payment and just donate it right back,
Yep.
That's what I do with Nate Balser's cancer races and stuff. Like he just, they'll send money and I just send it right to the, deflect it right to the cause, because there's always a QR code or something. But yeah, it's a fun little hobby. It'll pay for a new computer.
Pace cars down on pit road. Greg Palmer ended up coming out of that with the lead.
Yeah, actually, there's David Little in first with a couple of laps led.
So I'm just going to say that because he chose the outside group, which is not a smart. It's a pretty smart thing to do. I should the way I'm supposed to say it there, but.
Is he running manual transmission or automatic?
No. That was a accordion effect gone wrong right there.
I wonder if he's running an automatic transmission.
Something. He did not go.
No, he didn't
Randy
go.
walked at the back of him. Just accordion back, forth, and before you know it, Randy was around. Gary Heiser made it through, but just basically David Little just didn't get going, and everybody behind him was trying to go, and that was very unfortunate. David Little, has he been here? Let me look at the points.
It sounds like he missed a shift.
Okay.
It sounds like he went from first to third. Just judging from the view I'm using here now. But the reason I made the comment about maybe using an automatic transmission, because you can't you can't use automatic.
No, you don't get the run off it. No,
that sounded like he maybe went from 1 to third and then back to second. So that split second little mistake caused a stack.
Guys that were on the bottom group for a little bit, they were okay. I know Greg Palmer and Kerry Bond made it through that with no problems. You got Ed Finley, Gary Heiser. We'll see how many of them are going to pit.
Yeah, because we're pretty close to having just pit anyway, right? So it's almost like
Some just to If someone's going to do that to try to play the fuel mileage game, they won't pit on the first time. They will, unless they need tires or whatever. But most of them that are going to play the fuel mileage game will end up going down pit road on the second time by.
Right. Right when the lights are going to go off is when you're going to go.
Dave Little, Mark Paglia.
And
The
then we
99
just came
just
down
came
to,
down.
it's almost like we've run a dozen laps tonight out of the, we got 16 that we've done. It says we've run 11 of them under yellow.
That's not good.
So that's not very good. So, I mean,
Ooh, that was close.
there's no real reason to keep pitting, though. That's the thing. If you just anticipate more yellows.
Who was? I think that was Mac Paglia was leaving as Garland Oaks was trying to come in, and there was almost a collision there, but Garland braked, let him go, and then ducked into his pit.
Looks a bit of a 50-50 split here.
Yeah. Pretty extended stop for Ulysses Sandoval, so it must be he was involved in that. Looking at his car to see if it has any damage.
Ulysses the Puppy Sandoval. I'm just going to rewind it here and see it from Ulysses' standpoint. See, like you said, maybe he was involved in that. Most guys, yeah, he was.
Extended stay there, so.
Oh, he checked up and got rear-ended. That was bad.
Now Greg Palmer is out front. And you wait, the lights are still on. We'll see who pits, doesn't pit yet. Because these guys do like two wide restarts or starts and restarts. So,
Right.
and the leader has the choice. They can take the bottom or the top, depending on what they want to do.
Heiser, Lamas, Wolf. Looks like they're all going in. Looks like Randy was there as well. Palmer, Vaughn, and the 80 of Ed Finley are just content. There's a black flag being shown on Palmer. Not sure why. Not sure if it will be cleared. What black flag could Palmer possibly have if he just stayed out the whole time?
Only
Passing
thing,
a pace car, maybe?
well, no.
It's cleared.
You'd have to look at you'd have to look at the restart.
Oh,
If he beat
Yep.
David Little to the line, because David Little had that problem, he might have got a black flag because of that.
I forgot about, we're so close to that restart attempt that still just might have been lingering from passing under yellow or whatever, or passing before the start-finish line.
Yeah, we do have a message from Bob Sire down in the chat. He wants to know if I can fab him up a cattle guard for the front of his car. Something that he can just push through him with.
A couple of retired cars from the race tonight already. We've got Dave Little is retired, and so has Gary Heiser just parked it.
Oh, that's too bad.
Again, this is the Aero 88 mod. Always a cool looking mod. And I do like, we're looking at Greg Palmer right now. Got a paint job that just fits perfectly with an Aero 88 style car.
Yeah. I don't like Pepsi, but I like that paint scheme.
Yep.
Kind of goes along with, it's almost the same, but yet different with Ken Roberts. He's got the old mellow yellow one, which was basically that year, that era. Darrell Waltrip drove both of those cars, basically.
Okay.
Greg Palmer is making a trip down pit road. That's why the paint's about roughly the same. It's just different colors and stuff.
Yep. So this will probably be where the lights go off. We can get a fresh top up on gas, and then next time around, go green. There's Robert. We were just talking about him.
Looked to see if Perry Vaughn had led a lap yet, and he had, so.
Upcoming broadcasting here live on Tarnation TV. It looks like Roberts overshot his pit stall. He had to back up.
I hate it when that happens.
We'll be back here on Thursday. Flat Out Racing Network will be doing commentary as Tarnation TV produces the broadcast. So watch that either right here on Tarnation TV's channel or over at the Flat Out Racing Network YouTube channel as well. And then they will be running an updated version of Talladega, the RTG version 4. RTG version 3 was a staple for a very long time, but version 4 has a wider pit road, so that's cool. Of course, next Sunday, we're right here, December 7th, race number 4, All-Star Racing Super Sundays, live at 7:30. Primetime Racing League on the 19th of December. That's their All-Star race, and it's their Camping World Series trucks. And, of course, Maverick resumes next March with their Daytona. There is more races in between those, but those are the big ones for now. Every Thursday, we are at Rolling Thunder doing the Talladega Challenge, but there's no need to put every single Thursday up there. So, Perry Bond, your current race leader. We'll bring these guys back around to a green flag start on lap number 20 of 57.
Ed Finley out there on the outside. Dennis McCarthy on the inside. Garland Oaks on the high side there. Robert Spring has made his way back up into the 5th position. Brian Wolf in the 6th. Pace car is pulling down pit road. Greg Palmer and Matt Paglia behind them guys. Cody Lamas and Ulysses Sandoval are going to be our top 10 on this restart. See who gets that better run. When you got Garland Oaks behind you, you know you're going to get a good push.
And McCarthy's no slouch either, right? So this will be a good one.
Ed got out on him pretty good. He got a good jump.
Now it's just a lane choice for Ed, really.
Yeah.
I probably would stay where he is in that middle lane.
You're always looking behind you to see who's back there, but like we said earlier, I don't think there's too many people here that are not good super speedway racers. So it's, just the guys that push. Like you see Garland Oaks right to the tight to the back of Ed Finley there, pushed him right out towards the front.
Lots of space between these guys. That after that last restart, they're just making sure any missed shifts to get a little bit more space to react. I think. Yep. After a couple laps, these guys will get warmed up. They'll get it tightened up and start going for it.
Ed Finley's going to lead. That's his second lap lead. He got it there on the initial start. That's his first lap sled for the evening. Bob Sire sent on the thing. He needs some Tarnation turbo. In other words, he's probably had some choice words on.
Yeah.
While he was
if somebody wants to hire us to do a gosh darn broadcast on Tarnation Turbo, it's not going to be like super vulgar language or nothing, but something crazy happened and we let a word slip, it wouldn't be needed to be edited. We'd save us.
I still think it would be weird for us to do that because we're try so hard not to, and
it's not even like we're trying. It's just when the mics are on that it's it's like professional time, like you've been hired to do a job and you do it properly, right?
Yeah.
So, but it would be more loosey goosey style race. Like if somebody wanted us to broadcast an NASCAR race, but it was at a figure eight track or a demolition derby, because we can do that in this game too. Then maybe we do it on turbo and we have a little bit more fun. I mean, these are always fun. Just have a little bit more loose on the language, just because it's clearly a fun race if you're running a figure eight track or a demo derby.
Back a little bit on that, kind of going around the corner. Bob Sire got kind of like pushed up out of the way there and knocked back a little bit. I saw it up the corner of the screen there, and looked back, and he saved it and got back in line, and he's just a little bit behind, but he'll catch back up here a little bit. And
He's got
Randy
some-
Waugh.
some traffic behind him to help him out too. Wow, looking at the 3 wide, yeah.
Waugh, Ken Roberts, and our current points leader, Brian Rassom, trying to get that third group going. They got Bob Sire right behind
Are we
them.
going 4 wide back there?
They're 3 wide.
Yeah. Sometimes it's those camera angles that look like they're trying to do 4.
And that inside line, Cody Lamas down at the bottom, leading the charge. They are running nice and tight down there. And they're making their way towards the front.
That's the
They
thing,
got
man.
that.
Like if they can stay consistent and just
Yep.
follow each other, you can really get something working.
Running that tighter, they're running a tighter line, you can see. Got Ulysses Sandoval, Mark Paglia, John Godfrey. Those are some of the good guys that have behind you. McIntyre, is he from the Tuesday night with Maverick?
See, oh wait, are you talking about Levi McIntyre or
Yeah.
Matt?
No, Matt.
Matt, I've seen before. I've never seen Levi before.
Okay. He's down there. We don't know his Super Speedway prowess, nor do we know the 899 Super Speedway prowess. They're down at the bottom, of course. Cody Lamas and Ulysses Sandoval, once they got clear, went right to that middle groove where everybody wants to be. Ken Roberts, Greg Palmer, and Bob Sire still trying their darndest to make that third groove work. But Randy Waugh come back out. He's out there trying to see if they can get him, keep that momentum going.
It's a very powerful middle line, though. I mean, Bond. Okay.
Perry Bond
This-
moves out there. The guys in the middle are losing. People are dropping out of there. There goes Garland Oaks.
Yeah, they're the good call by these guys. Lamas might want to think about doing that too, because he still has time to jump up there.
I would have thought Ulysses Sandoval would have gone up there, but he went to the bottom, so Lamas decided to follow him down there, and Ed Finley's in the sucker hole. He's
Yeah.
right in the middle, and no help. He is going to go backwards until he gets to the back of the pack here.
All by himself. I've been there many times. Like,
Yeah.
oh man. And then look, they come back down again.
That bottom groove they're nice and tight. They're running really, really good. Now the top groove is starting to form up and do that. So the guys that form up on that top group, get Ken Roberts, Greg Palmer, Bob Sire up there right behind the back of Randy Waugh. And they'll start making headway up there on that high groove. And now, like I said, that bottom groove, there was 4 cars on the bottom, 6 cars on the bottom as they go by Seth Cole, injured but still going.
Was
He
winning
is
the
winning
race
the-
too. He has got 6 laps led, but that's probably going to be about it for him.
We had talked with him, I think it was last week, about whether he was going to try to go for the championship or not, and he was going to try his best to see if he could, make every race and try to go for the championship. So, unfortunately, I guess he couldn't make the first race, obviously, because he was broadcasting, and he got provisional points for that. And then last week he did pretty decent. So, I picked on him earlier for being lower in points, but then as I realized, it was just more of he had missed one race. So, in that high groove, Garland Oaks up there with the old Ford Thunderbird.
Making it work.
Yeah, it worked real well. He's got some good guys right behind him.
Has not led a lap yet, so definitely going to be wanting to do that. He's here most of the time every week too, so that'll help him out.
He was another one we asked, and he was going to try, but just literally, these Sundays sometimes are hard to get some people, get people out racing. It seems funny, but a lot of times somebody's got to get up on a Monday and go to work, and a lot of people just hate Mondays. Bob Sire trying to get that third groove going with Brian Rassom. Was behind him, but tucked back in behind Ed Finley. Cody Lamas got up there to the high side, jumped in between the opening between Randy Waugh and Ken Roberts. You could see all that momentum working on that high side, so he decided to go there. Ulysses Sandoval's got some pretty good people behind him, but they got to get tight, start. Woo!
Wow,
I
yeah.
I thought for a minute that Perry Bond was going around, but it actually turned him right down, and Perry just kept right on it and drove it right through it. Unfortunately, he's got no help until Ulysses Sandoval gets up to him, so he's going to drop back a little bit.
He will in about 5 seconds, but yeah, that's...
Oh, gee.
Oh, man, they are beating up Garland up there. Holy moly.
That was crazy. Randy Waugh was trying to get, I'm guessing he was trying to get to the bottom and just misjudged a little bit and clipped Garland. Garland drops to the bottom. Like, Garland is a wicked. I love racing against him, and usually when I'm racing and he's in front of me, he's usually the one I try to push. But you see how he's going top, bottom, whatever, you know, and I can't keep up with that with these guys in the super speedway stuff. So usually I stay with him for a little while, then he's gone.
Yep. And it's guys like Garland are always so consistent on tracks like this. That those are guys you want to follow. And then sometimes they turn out to be sort of a sleeper hit, right? Like he's always there, but you don't really get a lot of screen time sometimes. But, you know, when you're leading, you are.
I'm trying to remember. Brian Rason has won one race. I'm trying to remember who won the... Didn't he win the first race? Or was it last week? I'm trying to remember now. I probably got the thing saved and I didn't start it up, but...
Brian's got one win. And Denny was the one that won last week.
That's right. Denny Carroll.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Just going to pull the export up on that. But.
I had the graphic there on the screen, yeah. So the first two races, Brian Rawson and Denny Carroll are your winners. Ooh, somebody got pushed out of line there.
Yeah, Mark Paglia.
Okay, going backwards.
Team Wrecking Ball, which is Carolyn Oaks and Ulysses Sandoval, and I always give them a hard time because they're not driving Toyotas or the same cars, but one's got a paint scheme that's something a friend of his or somebody he knows that he wanted to follow it. But you see them guys a lot of times, if they can get together, they will. Team Wrecking Ball works pretty good together when it comes to these super speedways.
Yeah, they're really good.
You know, like Ken Roberts and Greg Palmer, you've noticed they've pretty much been together all night. Those are two other guys that they'll search each other out and try to find each other, and they know they can run good together, and they know they can, so they will. That outside groove has got a nice tight line. That is tight, pushing Cody Lamas out to the front.
Straight as a pin. Yep.
Yep.
Nobody's bobbing or weaving or nothing. They're all on a rail up there.
Let off a little bit in the corners. As Seth Cole, just to say, going back down another lap down. Props to Seth Cole for keeping on going. So now Cody Lamas goes to the bottom, brings Ulysses Sandoval with him. That leaves Ken Roberts on that high side. I think you'll see Lamas, if they start making some room up there, he's probably gonna come back up.
Well, that line with Roberts has been coming. I mean, it was back there a little bit, you know, and within a few laps, they're already knocking on third, fourth place.
Ken Roberts tucked down to the bottom.
Pit stops, possibly.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. With 33 laps into this race, you've got to be close.
They're about... I'm thinking they're within about 5, I think, because it would be 14 laps or so since we pit last, I think.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on that, but...
That's the thing, too. They all pit at different intervals, right? There was a group that went in right at the end of that cycle, too, so...
I think you're probably right. I think Ken Roberts and Greg Palmer started working their way down to the bottom, knowing that they're going to be pitting soon. Want to make sure that they could be in the right place. Don't want to have to do it, late in the run. They were making a little bit of ground, but they weren't up there on that high side, so. Other thing too, you think about it, depending on where they are at with fuel, they might have realized that, they need to save a little, just tuck in behind the line, let Cody Almas, pull everybody around, and the rest of the guys can just save fuel.
Yeah, and if they get to lap 38, that would be 19 to the finish, so if they can get there, they'd be good on gas at the end. So they could do this on one more stop, depending on when they start going in.
Right.
And again, there's going to be a few different strategies going on because a bunch of these guys went in earlier, later, a couple times. It's going to be cool. It's always cool, especially if it's under green flag conditions, because this is going to be the stop you're going to want to hit.
Absolutely, and I think the guys that pitted the latest will probably have the bigger advantage because they can pick and choose when they want to pit. Where some of the drivers, like Ed Finley, just pulled off. He was one of the guys that stayed out.
Yeah. They have to. They have no choice.
They have to, yeah.
You want to make it to lap 38, 39 before you go down there, because then you'd be guaranteed to make it to the end on fuel.
Unfortunately for Ed Finley, he's the only one that pitted. Good work, but there's going to be a little bit of time when he's not being in the draft. So depends on when these guys pits and how soon they pit. He may be okay, but they have to pit now, and him kind of just come back around into the mix.
And Finley will have to pit again if this thing goes green. A yellow could save him because you can save some gas under yellow, but he won't be able to make it.
Pitting. We got McIntyre's going to pit. Bob Spring. These guys, I don't think that are pitting now can go the distance.
No, they might be a lap short.
As I was kind of focusing on the leaders there, I heard Ed Finley's car come out of pits. He's just in front of the leaders. They're probably gonna run him down, but he might be able to tuck in and stay with him in the draft. And yes, right, currently that would put him a lap down. As he goes to the high side, always a consummate gentleman to make sure that they have room. They just tuck in behind them and try to use them to get farther.
Comes our main pack, so they will be able to make it now. When it looks like Sire headed to the pits right there, so this pack will definitely be able to make it.
Gonna have Cody Lamas hitting this time. Next time around, I mean. I'm looking at the guys are posting when they're pitting and stuff, and passing some of the cars that had currently pitted. Yeah. So I think Lamas is going to pit this time by. And Finley's pitting, so must be he had got a penalty. Greg Palmer.
Black flag Finley, yep.
Ken Roberts is pitting. Mark Paglia.
The rest of them will be coming.
Yeah, so they're pretty much all coming right here. Woo! And it out a bit. They got to get it all tightened back up for this right end of pit road.
Perfect.
Wow, that was really good.
Perfect.
Could be, I would have guessed, only a fuel-only stop, but you may see some drivers. Now you're going to have the problem where
Ulysses got turned.
I just see that coming because Ulysses was, and then he got T-boned on pit road. He's going to just turn around and go. Oh, he can't back up. So I see some teams are taking right side tires, fuel. Unfortunately for Ulysses Sandoval, he's going to have to go back out, go back around, pit again. Because I could just see it happening. He was in the wrong spot. And Randy Waugh was underneath him. Randy Waugh wasn't doing anything wrong. Just Ulysses had to get across. So he tried to tuck in behind him and then got clipped.
Yeah, he had to come from the outside to try to get down in there, and it's just too far to travel. So your current race leader is Godfrey in the 7-Eleven, who's on pit road now.
And just looking at Cody Lamas, Greg Palmer, Randy Waugh, leave. Gonna be Greg Palmer decides to take the run and go on the outside of Cody Lamas, and I think you're gonna have Greg Palmer's probably gonna be our leader.
Yeah, because they leapfrogged Lamas, because him and the 21 were stuck together like glue. So
Godfrey's coming just off pit road, so they've gone past him.
Yeah.
So we're going to see Greg Palmer, Randy Waugh, Cody Lamas, 3 cars at a breakaway right now.
Who's currently first? Oh, okay, I see.
Craig Palmer.
Godfrey's
Yeah.
currently being held in first, but yeah, he just got leapfrogged. So yeah, it'll be Palmer.
Yeah, he beat them to the line after he come off pit road, so he led that lap.
Oh, right, yeah.
Finley's going to be going, I don't know if he's one lap down yet or not. He's not, but he will probably be going down a lap unless caution comes out, because the Greg Palmer and the three car battle there are running him down. I see Garland Oaks is back there, but he is back there about 3 to 4 seconds back.
Yeah, it's pretty Oaks about 3.4 seconds back.
But they've got 5 cars now. If they can just tuck in, there they go. Now it's just what they need to do. Down the backstretch, they just started tucking right into a good line. We've got Garland Oaks, Ken Roberts, the 99, McIntyre, and John Godfrey and Mark Paglia. So you got those guys right there. They're running a nice, tight line. We know
This is always cool. They will catch this lead pack because there's only 3 in the lead pack. If these guys don't race each other, they'll be able to run down that lead pack.
So right now, Ed Finley just passed Ulysses Sandoval. So if they can catch up to the back of them guys, I don't know if they can or not, but if they could get to the back of the 3 leaders, it would help them out a little bit.
Yep.
But you can see they haven't really made that much time up yet. They lost about 10 seconds on that last lap. But mind you, everybody's trying to get lined up and get kind of about a quarter, 10th of a second, I guess. But
yeah,
we'll see how it changes when they hit the line. Imagine that now they're in a nice tight group. It should.
So went from 3.55 to 2.9. So yeah, now they're about half a second. They're coming. Yeah.
Kind of what I was wondering, if they were going to be able to, once they got formed up. Ed Finley's got in the back of these guys, so he's now pushing with them. The group led by Garland Oaks back there is getting a good draft off from Ulysses Sandoval, so that'll help him out too. Ulysses will probably just get out of the way and let him go. And he did, yeah. So let's see, I'm gonna guess about 14 laps to go-ish.
Remember here, Ed Finley in the 80 here, he looks like he's in 4th, but he's not. He's actually in 16th place. He's a lap down. But he is helping this top 3 pack here of Palmer, Waugh, and Lamas. I mean, that other pack you can see behind, they are going to catch them, but they're not going to catch them as fast because that's that 4th car being added to the mix. It's helping these guys get a little bit quicker.
The good thing about where Ed Finley is there, helping them guys, yes, and it helps him out because he's the next car. He's the first car that's 1 lap down. Should the caution come out, will be the lucky dog. Ulysses Sandoval is the second car, and he is at the tail end of that 2nd pack. By helping them out, it could help him out. But they are still coming. They're not as fast as they were since Ed got up in the back of them, but they're still 0.2 of a second per lap, 2-3 of a second per lap, running them down. They got time. The closer they get to them, once they get in with it about 1 second behind them, then it'll really pick up. That's picking up their draft.
That's maximum draft right there. Within a second, then it's launch time.
That's what they got to do, and they are now. They're 2.3 behind the leader, but that's not behind the car that's Ed Finley, the one that's currently in the fourth spot on the track. Once they start
2-3 down to 1.7, yeah.
That was
another
a big
half-second jump.
Unfortunately, Seth Cole goes another lap down, still out there trooping around, trooping it, trying to get as much he can. So now they're going to be probably the next time by, well, they'll be within a second, which they may already be right now, and they're going to start picking up that draft, and you're going to really see them start gaining.
And Finley is barely hanging on to Lamas in the draft.
That's helping that second group right there.
Yeah.
They're picked up on him already, so that draft pickup off of him is going to pull that group right into him. Brian Rasan going a lap down. I'm not sure what happened to Brian. He must have had a bad pit stop. So where Ed Finley's being right now is good for him. Brian just went a lap down. Now he is going to be. He's not going to be the lucky dog. It's going to be Ed Finley. So now they split it up a little bit.
Wow, Roberts! Holy moly, Roberts had a run. He probably had to use the brake pedal to not run over Finley there. He bumped him. He did tap him, but wow, that was a checkup.
7 to 10 to go. Throw a blanket over these guys. Now we know some of them can make it. I think Ed was one of the earlier pits, but I think he had to go back in. Probably a speeding penalty. I'm not sure. Some of them can make it. I think most of them will be able to, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most can. And within that, like 37, 38 lap, you'd be good to go on 19 laps. But yeah, Finley was forced to pit earlier, so he's going to have to peel off and get fuel before this race is done.
yeah.
Probably in the next 6 or 7 laps or so. Because he's probably, I'm guessing he's probably going to be 3 or 4 laps short.
See, Sandoval's pushing Cody Lamas up there, right up to Garland Oaks. Going to try to get that high side working again.
Dan Oaks led this pack straight into these guys. He's still leading that pack, too.
They changed positions a little bit. Oh,
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about your luck. And Levi McIntyre and John Godfrey on the bottom just got abandoned by everybody. Holy moly. And just before Christmas, too.
yeah. They got to go where their momentum is, and that momentum was coming on the high side, too. Now Randy Waugh's going to try to get down to the bottom.
Either try or is forced.
It could be that, too.
And sometimes you get so much of a run, you don't want to brake check. You just give those guys a car length to kind of, a little bit more breathing room. You start lifting, and it's like it causes a domino effect where if you just pull out a line, it just gives those guys a little bit more space to do it.
About 7 laps to go. You're Greg Palmer. Windshield could be as dirty as it wants to be because you're not looking at it much.
Nope. Review mirror.
You're watching that rear view mirror, and wherever the lines are coming, whoever's got the momentum, you're going to try to put yourself right in front of it.
Currently, Greg Palmer, the leader of this race, has led 11 laps. Cody Lamas has also led 11 laps. So Palmer right now will be your lap leader with 12. With about 7 laps to go now.
Now, I don't know. I'm just looking to quick like to see is Palmer, how many races has he run? He's run.
I sent you the graphic that I use on the point screen in the Facebook Messenger there.
I don't see him in the points, so it's his first race. Cody Lamas is trying to get down to that bottom. Now Palmer's going to go down there. Now, I don't know if that was a good move on Palmer's part. Because just put Garland Oaks on the... Oh, no! Finley's around!
Finley is over and up and down, and holy moly, racing back to the line. Palmer will take that. We will go green before this thing is over.
Let's see, Sandoval is going to be your lucky dog. If they give lucky dogs that with less than 10, I think they still do. Now, this is good for the guys that, were questionable on fuel.
Yes.
Now they can clutch, just coast. You're going to get about 3 laps, and then it's going to be a little short run shootout.
Can't really see what happened from that angle, so I have to get the helicopter view here. Finley behind Sandoval, and it looks like, the 99 got in the inside of the 55, and they just ran out of space there. They actually claimed the 55 and the 21 as well, Randy Y and Ken Roberts, and that's Ed Finley a lap down.
Oh, yeah. He got underneath it and kind of pushed Ken up and just kind of clipped the back of him.
Any takers on pitting?
I don't think you're gonna, unless you're Ed Finley or the guys like that you can't make it. But this could save, even though Ed Finley's still going to be a lap down.
Yeah, he won't be able to pit now. He'll have to wait because he's a lap down
that's right.
to the next time around. But he'll definitely be going in the 80 car. Beyond that, everybody else is probably fine.
Well,
you know what, though? The back half of the field, they tend to pit a lot just because you can.
I think you'll see probably Ken Roberts come in and just pop off, get 4 tires on it. I don't know if he got any damage. Maybe if there's any damage to fix it up. It's pretty much just going to be almost a green-white checkered, depending on when we go. So, it's kind of... You don't want to get yourself too far back because you're 1 lap just trying to build up speed. Then you're trying to make moves, and it's hard to do without somebody just, basically, it's like you're John Godfrey, where he is about mid-pack. For him to be able to get up to the front to win this thing, he's got to get a bunch of people behind him and just pushing him and, not back off on him. It's hard. I don't know how these guys get it. I don't know how they do it sometimes.
Yeah. There's a lot of luck, too. Like, there's skill, obviously, because it's not easy to do this, but then if you get just the right luck.
Well, you think about it. I mean, people will tell you that, wow, racing at Bristol is, that's pretty tough. I'd rather race Bristol. It's more mentally challenging racing at Talladega or, Burnt Screwdriver Speedway than it is to run Bristol. But you're playing chess, with 20 people at 200 miles an hour.
And any little bit of damage messes your whole race up. I mean, you could win Bristol with no hood.
Oh yeah, you could be running, those wrecked up ones that look like a modified and still, as long as you motor strong, you're good. But here, I mean, it's just, so Randy Waugh is pulling in, Ed Finley, Ken Roberts.
I don't know what happened to Waugh.
Robert Spring is pulling in.
Wanted to go.
Oh.
He changed his mind.
Either that or he had wheel trouble. Might have had something happen to his wheel and that caused him to just turn or... Just to give you an idea, I had my wheel, USB TSW wheel. I actually had one time where it wasn't plugged in all the way.
Didn't realize it. Oh, okay, yeah.
Didn't realize it, and because I didn't realize it, all of a sudden I'm racing, and then the wheel just turned right, and it basically disconnected on me.
Ah, worst timing ever. So Randy was running the apron, and we just had Ed Finley retire from the race.
All right. I don't know if Ulysses Sandoval will be the lucky dog or not, because like I said, you'll have to see what they... Some leagues don't give the lucky dog with less than 10 to go. Some do. Some leagues give 2 lucky dogs. Some leagues will actually make you, if they're not the lucky dog, but if you're a lap down within less than 10 to go, they'll make the lap down cars do a drive through the pits You can pit if you want, but they'll do a drive-through. And basically what that does, it puts the lap-down cars in the back of the field so the lead guys can fight it out. Because every league has got different little twerks rules. Like I telling you about TMP, you know, you only get 10 tires and you can only change tires under green, and just, you know, just strategy, different strategy. Seth Cole's coming down.
The tire limit is such a cool way to do it.
It is.
I remember I raced over at Fast with Randall Coleman and Cody Luke and all those guys, and they have tire limits. You only get like 5 sets, so the set you start with and 4 other ones, and you have to think about that. Like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna take tires all the time because you can't.
Okay, so pace car lights are off, Sandoval, and okay, so these guys do give 2. So Sandoval and Brian Rosson are going to be your lucky dogs. They headed around, come around and pick up the back of the pack. I should put both of them drivers back on the lead lap. Then we only have one other car that is laps down, and of course that is Seth Cole, who's had a horrendous crash in the beginning. Props to him for sticking it out and getting as many points as he can. He will be passing Ed Finley probably here before the end of the race. So by sticking it out so far, he's going to at least picked up 1 position. I think, the other 2 drivers, Gary Heiser and Little, retired earlier, so he hasn't been able to make up any ground. Well, I think he probably already made up ground on them guys. So.
Are you talking about Cole? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect example right there. So Finley right now retired with a wheel problem. So after his little up in the air, almost a flip that he had, probably bent a rim, was forced to retire for that. And in 2 more laps, Seth Cole will leapfrog him for 1 more spot. So that's a perfect example there why, hey, if the car is running, you might as well drive it, because he's going to gain another couple of points by doing that. We have about 3 or 4 laps left in the race. He's got lots of time to get around him.
They're racing back. We're coming to the line. Green, white, checkered.
Mm-hmm.
Next flag ends the race, no matter what it is. But they will, if a caution should happen, within this first lap, then it'll be racing back to the start-finish line, and then they'll go from there as the pace car turns down onto pit road. Got Greg Palmer on the bottom, Cody Lamas on the top, Garland Oaks, then McIntyre, John Godfrey, Matt Paglia, Bob Sires still out there, and then, oh God, here we go, 77. That's another, I got to get new McIntyre. McIntyre, okay. The 99 of, there's 2, okay. How many McIntyres?
There's 2 McIntyres, yeah.
Yeah, that's what keeps messing me up. Oh,
I know, Matt.
Brian Wolf got a little out of shape there. Greg Palmer got a good start, got Garland Oaks right behind him. Down the back steps, you're getting these things, still getting them wound up. They're just getting up to about 180 miles an hour. And some of them are just shifting into 4th, so John Godfrey looking for room, but he just doesn't have any down there.
Yeah, he can go down there, but they're not going to like it too much.
No. Yellow line is out of bounds.
Yep.
Can't go down there to pass. You can go down there. As long as you're not advancing your position, you're fine. If you're Garland Oaks, you're thinking seriously about, going for a championship here. Got 2nd last week. White flag is out. Greg Palmer's just here for the win. He's not in the points. As of yet, he could run the rest of the season and, maybe work his way up in there, but Paglia,
Sire, what a hit.
Round he goes. There goes the Sandoval, one of the McIntyres in 77.
It's McIntyre, yeah. Matt McIntyre's on his roof.
Now, what does Garland Oaks do? He's trying to look for, trying to see if anybody would go with him. Don't think Godfrey would. I think Godfrey would go with Palmer.
Now to turn 4. Into the tri-oval.
Garland Oaks going for the high side.
Oaks needs a
99
push.
put up with him. You don't know if he's going to have enough.
Nope, nobody's there with him. It looks like it's going to be Palmer by a nose.
Wow.
If the 99 was a little bit more of a run there with the 67, it would have been it could have been a photo finish.
Oh yeah. Plus, on top of that, not only, like you might have been able to get up there and get third away from John Godfrey.
Gone Godfrey?
John Godfrey. Yeah.
Gone Godfrey?
Godfrey. No. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Peg Gomer wins the race.
John Foffery, something like that. Yeah. John Godfrey. Hey, sorry, my liquids ran out, so I got to dry through. Been playing ahead well enough, I guess.
So the gap from first to second was 0.024.
Third was 0.06. Oh, it says 0.06, but it's actually 0.059.
Yeah.
Game rounded it up.
And then 0.1. Yeah, I mean, everybody in the first 10 or 15 spots there was within a second.
That was a pretty wild finish.
Yeah, we will go back. Stay tuned. We will be talking to the drivers. Top 3 here.
Letting Palmer burn it down a little bit if he's done.
Yeah.
Nope.
No burn down. Okay.
Burn down. All right, so let's see if we can find, how did I say that? John Free? Something like that.
Yeah, you take the first letter of both of his names and flip them. So, Gone Jodfrey.
Yes. Con, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy, buddy.
I got you guys.
You're gonna love this. I kept messing up your name here at the end of it, but it was pretty good. So you had a great night. Stayed out of most of that big wrecks and big, accidents. And I see back there, when I knew Garland Oaks made that move to the high side, I said, that wasn't a good move. And he still ended up being able to get you. But you come out third. That's pretty darn good for you. And I don't know, points wise, you've run most every race, so if you're going to try to run the whole season, that's a pretty good point stay for you.
Third is like a win for this team the way things have been going this season, Rod. So I'll take it. Yeah, it was. I don't know how I managed to stay clear of all that carnage, but I did and kept it in one piece.
Yeah, because normally you're in the middle of it. I mean, I'm not trying to be bashing you, but
oh no, that's just the way it is.
Just the way it is. You always seem to be getting caught up in that lately. So coming out third for the night, and let's see if I can remember. That didn't work out because I hit the wrong button. So I didn't find out if you led a lap or not. There we go. Yes, you did. You led 2 laps tonight. So that's pretty good for helping you out in the points.
Yeah, I'll take whatever I can get. It was a good run for the team. We kept the car in one piece, and we'll take it from there and hopefully gain some momentum out of this.
Well, you got to get out there and whoop up on that, Brian Rawson guy. Go up there and, take that championship away from him. Go get yourself a championship.
That would be nice.
With all the work and stuff that you do, we constantly are always talking about you about, the different stuff that you've done to the tracks and, what you've done to the RGD track. And I tell you, as a fellow racer, I appreciate some of the stuff you do. You made some really, really nice tracks for us all to go out and play with.
I appreciate all the props. I really do.
You are going to run the whole season, so I didn't have the points up. I pulled them down because I weren't using them anymore, and I should have kept them up there. But you're going to run the whole season and try to see if you can't, dominate this series this year.
Well, we'll try to salvage something out of this. I think I've had enough misfortune that I'm not a contender for anything. Hey, just show up every week and race and have fun. That's all it's about.
See if I can find you. You are 7th in points, which you were not too far behind. A bit behind Brian Rosson, but you'll make up some ground on Dennis McCarthy and possibly Brian Wolf today, and maybe even Randy Waugh and Ken Roberts. So, good run for you. Some of them guys there, a little bit ahead of you in points, are a little behind. So that should do really good for you.
I like what you're saying there, Rod. We'll keep plugging.
All right. Well, unless Blaine's got something to say, but he's busy, so we'll let him just, do his thing.
All right. Appreciate all you guys do in covering these races. We love what you're doing.
I'll give you a chance to thank anybody else you want to thank, and the floor is yours.
The people at Joy of Seating and the guys back at the shop for giving me a fast Chevy tonight to keep up with the leaders.
Very short and very sweet. Congratulations on your third place finish, and keep these good finishes coming.
Thank you, Rod. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
All right, Garland, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy, buddy.
Good evening, fellas, for our weekly talk. I'm glad I got to come back.
So, second place seems to be a pretty good place for you, though. Do you think you would be happy with second place for the rest of the season? Every week?
Until that championship, and then I'll take a first.
Okay, so I see how that works. Yeah, but so far, you've done well. Two second places in a row. You ran up front there. You guys had a little problem on your pit stop. The few of the boys got away from you there, but you guys got lined up really, really good. Ran them down. You got up there. I was talking about you in the broadcast a little bit about how I've raced with you and love to follow you, and I get behind you a lot of times and just follow you and push you, but then you do the stuff that you do that I can't keep up with you. You changing lanes and figuring out the quickest and the bestest way for you to get up to the front. So hats off to you to getting through some of that mess tonight and making it all the way up there to second.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you. Yeah, it was. We come out the pits that last time. I missed the pit just a little bit. Had to back up, fill the tank up so we could make it to the end. And I got a little bit behind, but Roberts come up behind me and got me on up there. And then I think that caution flag really hurt us. I think that cost me that win. I had Ulysses and Cody and Levi back there, and I think that if that caution had to come out, we had a good chance of putting that car in victory lane tonight. But, coming up only 2/100 short of Greg, coming around the final lap there without anybody pushing behind me was pretty close, and I'm perfectly happy with that second place.
I would think I thought for a moment, coming down the backstretch and going that, just the way it looked, I said, he's probably just going to stay there, say good points night, whatever. And you pulled out, and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know if that's going to work, but you had such a good run. You did have the 99 behind you, but not really close enough. I think if he was a little bit closer to your bumper and it could have given you a little bit of an assistance, I think you might have been able to get it. But you're right. That was a bold move, but it still paid off. Wouldn't have mattered either way if you went out or you stayed where you were. Second place was going to be yours.
Well, I figured even if I pulled out, I'm still on the podium. I still get to talk to y'all tonight. So, but I think this puts us in the points lead, and that's a good shot. So I think we're going to keep racing on Sundays for right now, since we're that far up in the standings. I mean, ain't no use in dropping at the championship now. So
Son had where he finished 8th. So yeah, you should be taking the points lead over. You get pretty good points for being in the top 3. So that's pretty cool. And
yep.
I
led last week, so
yeah, you got to get one of those W's, man.
I understand, but it's so hard when you get out here with these guys and you race with them week after week after week like we do, and in so many series like we do. It's hard getting up front. Sometimes you just, it's as much luck as it is skill sometimes to just put it in the right place at the right time and not be caught up in the wrecks. And tonight we just was able to slide through some of those wrecks at the beginning of the race, and then with that long green flag run there, we was able to pull up to the leaders and pull away from a majority of the field. So it was, I would like a first. I'm not gonna lie to y'all fellas, but a second still good with these guys.
Yeah, you think about it that way. If you finish second every race, the chances are pretty good, unless the guy that's in front of you is always the same. You're going to do well. Points what you're going to point yourself right into the championship. But it's just like I said, I give you guys all kinds of props. I cannot stand racing Talladega, Daytona. I've gotten better at it, with help from Talladega Nights and a lot of guys and racing with you. And but I just don't know how you guys are just, you're one of these people that can just work your way through a pack. And it's just amazing how you do it.
That's one thing I said. I can't qualify, but I can go from the back to the front in about 3 laps. If you give me the right momentum in the car, I can drive it right up to the front. It's just that qualifying kills me. So, you know, I thrive off of long green flag runs, the 5 runs and a caution and 5 runs and a caution deal. You can't get any momentum. You can't get anywhere.
Right.
You end up losing positions when you go into the pits and everything else. And so, I'd say that for the most part, I thrive if it's a good green flag run and I don't black flag in those pits. I can put it up on the front podium. So,
well, that's pretty cool. Blaine, you have anything for Garland Oaks?
Well, I just listened to that saying, like, you know, you're not a big fan of the qualifying thing, but I guess you're a big fan of how they just do lottery here, right? So you don't have to worry about it. Just let the lottery do what it does and just worry about the race.
well, it's funny, but eighth place qualifying was actually a pretty good position tonight to qualify out of. I really don't like qualifying up front that much, and I guess it's just from where I usually run from the back to the front. And I don't like it also because usually what happens is you end up getting, if you get sent back to the back of the field, qualifying that far up, you're having to watch for cars pulling out their pits while you're trying to go into your pits. It just makes it that much more difficult, where if you're in the back pitting and if you're in the front coming in, or if you're in the back coming in, you're one of the first cars to pit. So you can pull in your pit stall. Usually don't have a whole lot of traffic you got to deal with.
That makes sense.
Yeah, especially when your pit stop's completed, right? You're not really having to look in your review mirror too much, like you do. But if you're up front, you're kind of dealing with everything. You're like, who's in front of me, who's behind me, who's beside me. Where if you're near the back, it's kind of like, okay, it's a little bit less. There's less numbers back there. You can just worry about getting up to speed and not speeding.
Get up to speed, get all the way to the outside so you don't get hit coming out, and driving up to 9th or 10th position and restart the race. So it's a little bit easier. I'm glad to see that we had more people out tonight. It makes it a little more exciting when you get, up to at least 20 drivers or more out there. I'm not a real big fan of a full 40 car field, because at 40 cars at Talladega, sometimes it gets a little dicey in the first half of the race. But these guys they've been driving like professionals out here, and we wasn't under yellow too much tonight. So it was a good race.
Well, I'm going to congratulate you on the second place and give you an opportunity to thank the people that got you here, and the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. Well, first of all, foremost, thank my wife for kicking me down here and putting me in the rig again tonight. It's she puts up with me racing and doesn't argue with me so much. So I'd have to say thank you, Latondra, for allowing me to come race. And of course, thank my kids, John David, Alex Miguel, and Ashlyn Noel. Hopefully one of these days Alex will come race with us again. And then I'd have to say, give a shout out to Team Wrecking Ball. They pushed me on back up there tonight, and Ken Roberts helped out. So it was overall, like I said, fellas, great night. Shout out to you two. Great job in the booth. It was good to hear from you all again, and we'll see you again next week.
Well, hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with you again next week. So congratulations on your second place finish, my friend.
Y'all have a wonderful night.
You as well.
Thanks, Garland.
I was going to pull you down here, Brian, because it looks like Greg Palmer had left the building.
I think
they took a vote.
He parked her pretty quick, and then he was gone, so he probably had to go to bed or something.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody said he forgot, but
he didn't do a burnout or nothing. He won the race and then was just gone. So
they voted. They wanted you guys to pull down Levi McIntyre instead. So I'll leave it up to you guys. But thanks for a great night, guys. I got to get back up here to the reviews, and good job to Levi. Thanks for coming out, and I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, Brian.
So, Levi, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You're a new guy here tonight, so we figured Leader decided he exited the track real quick, so we figured we'd give you a chance to have you, talk with you and ask you a little bit about your night. What do you think about racing over here at ASR Super Speedway Series?
Yeah, first time racing over here tonight. It was pretty fun. Kind of an eventful race for darn sure. I mean, starting up towards the front and getting the race up at the front pretty early on, and then we had that brief little incident with the 21 where we made contact, where I got into him on the tri-oval. It's just, man, that suck up was so strong, and I was doing the best I could to make sure I didn't do that, and it just happened a couple of times, but thankfully no incident came from that. Other than that, I was just trying to race the race as smart as I possibly could and just kind of ride around until we got to the end, where we somehow found ourselves in the top 5. And I tried to give Garland that push at the end, but we just had no momentum up on the top to make it stick. But I'll take a top 5 for my debut race. Hopefully I can come back for a future race and maybe get a W.
The next question is, I'm just going to say, you had enough fun. You're going to try to come down through here. You'll be making the last 6 races, because it's an 8-race series. With finishes like that, you could still put yourself pretty high up in the points, and maybe, if you consistently do that, it's a little hard to miss in 2 races, but, you can come back and maybe contend for this championship. Is that something that you think you might want to do?
I mean, I don't really aspire for championships really that much, especially when it's special occasion time, but if it tickles my fancy, wink wink, I perhaps will make more attempts and see how I do, because after all, I got a lot of super speedway experience under my belt, even though I have good luck and I also have the worst luck imaginable a lot of times. But we'll see what happens, and maybe if things pan out, we'll see if, like I said, get a W and maybe get a decent points tally at the end.
What other leagues were you in before this one? How did you find this league and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I've been racing part of NNSCRA for on and off for about 10 years.
Nice.
And I actually do have a championship. I used to have my own series called the Steak and Shake Super Speedway Series, and I won the inaugural championship. I got roughly 17 super speedway wins under my belt over the past decade, and I've only just now kind of gotten back in NR after a year away. But yeah, perhaps the more I stick with it, the better I'll get, and we'll see where I go from here.
That's the great thing about this sim. It'll always be here if you come back, apparently. It hasn't gone
Absolutely.
anywhere yet.
And
it's never going anywhere.
Absolutely, and thanks, Seth Cole, for letting me know about this series, because I've been wanting to race more super speedway racing, because I try other tracks. I just have no skill really at all, apart from Bristol for some reason. Like, I always seem to find myself decent at Bristol, but most other tracks, it's nah. So I just go where the bigger audience is.
So you're telling me if they started up a Martinsville series, that's all they ever did is run Martinsville, you wouldn't run it?
No, because I am awful at Martinsville. If it were Bristol, watch out. I could get some good runs, maybe a win if I race it smart.
I always say that because I cannot. I mean, I like super speedways to a certain extent, but I just don't have the talent for it. Gotten better at it with a lot of help with some of these guys that you raced against tonight. But if I had my choice, I'd race Martinsville every week. So,
I mean, I race controller, which not very many, if anybody at all, on an R.
There's a few.
Controller. I know there's a few. Joe Van Anderson's the big one that most people would know about.
And Andrew Miller.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just tried keyboard for a long time. It was not working for me, so I went to controller, which is where I got my star racing games, was on the controller. So I figured it's just natural for me to just do controller. I have thought about doing the wheel. I just have no idea where I would put it and how it would function for me. And knowing how I would be behind the wheel, I probably would be worse than I was on keyboard.
You would have probably a fairly steep learning curve with it, and depending on what you got for a wheel, I mean, you can go out and buy $100, $200 wheels, or you can spend $3, $4, $5 grand for some of the Mosleys and the Fanatec's and stuff like that. And then you got to learn how to set it up, and you got to find somebody that's running one, because there's little tricks and little everything with the wheels that makes it even better.
Yeah, but it also does come down to money, and I always think to myself, I got better stuff I can spend my money on.
I
you got
really
something
do.
that works, right? I mean, if you got the controller and it works, and like you said, where are you going to put the wheel? That's another thing. So maybe you don't have the right kind of desk to clamp that
space.
thing to, right? And it's like, yeah, just
Yeah.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep using the controller.
Yeah, and besides, like, I've even helped people like Dylan Young switch over to controller, and judging from what I've seen with him in other leagues, he's doing a lot better than he was on keyboard, where he was just going up and down and up and down, and it's like, do we really want to run behind him in case we're up at the front? But no, I'm glad to kind of be a bit of an advocate for controller racers on NR, especially on plate tracks, because I just find it easier to control. And little trick for you controller guys, don't use the analog sticks, use the D-pad. You will find a lot more stability with the car whenever you're racing. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say on that.
Is that for the steering, or do you use the analog
Steering.
you use the brakes and the throttle on the back that are the analog ones, right? For your throttle and brake.
I actually use a PlayStation 4 controller. So I do the NASCAR 06 method of R2 for gas, L2 for brake.
Yep.
And then
Okay.
use direction, and then use the X button and square button for the gears and circle for the clutch. No analog stick functionality at all.
Yeah, that's funny. That's the way you do that. I would have thought that that's what you would have done to get that, because we've seen we broadcast with the leagues and they have keyboard warriors on there, and you can tell they're on a keyboard. And you guys with the stick, the controllers, I would have thought you guys would have done it analogically, just because their guys are so smooth.
Nope. D-pad's the way to go for me. I mean, I'm just always used to the D-pad ever since I was a kid. And I mean, granted, there are certain games where the analog stick is better, but I don't know, just the D-pad, just the retro feel of that as well. But I will let you in on a little crazy secret. Last race I ever did prior to tonight was the NNSCRA Holodega event a month ago. And don't ask me how this happened, but a couple times during the race, the car was just driving itself. Like, at one point, I didn't even have my hand on the controller. It was just driving itself, like some glitch happened. And I had to unplug and plug the controller back in just so I could even turn the car.
That's
I don't know how,
interesting.
but
In a
it's weird.
haunted race, the controller was haunted.
So, another thing of advice, if that happens to you, make sure you download DS4 for your computer so that way you don't have that problem ever again. And thank God I downloaded it, otherwise I might have had the same problem tonight and it would have been awkward.
That's
All
awesome.
right, well, it was nice to get a chance to chat with you a little bit, and welcome to the Racing League here. We're going to give you the opportunity to thank the people that you want to thank to get you in here, and we'll get you on your way.
Yeah, thank you guys for interviewing me, even though I probably shouldn't have, but hey, I'm gracious no matter what. And thank you, Seth, for introducing me to this league. Thank you to all the racers. Obviously, some etiquette's going to have to be sorted out on my end, but that's easily fixable. But we'll just see when I got my fancy tickled to come back for another run.
Congratulations. So, is it fourth you finished or fifth? I didn't.
Fourth.
Fourth.
Okay, yeah. Congratulations on your fourth place finish, and well, hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Levi. Have a good night, bud.
You too.
There it is. Yeah, been around a while, just haven't crossed paths with him, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And that is interesting how he uses a D-pad, because that's like direct input. That's not using the stick. That's kind of strange.
I would have never would have thought that's how they would do it. I would have always thought they were doing it with the analog, just thought that's what they do, but that's
See, and
pretty
then
cool.
using those third-party softwares too to get controllers to work
Right.
on computers, you have a lot of control with the software side of things too. So again, it's an instant right button, like a right turn press isn't going to snap the car 100% to the right. It's going to be that whole gradual turn kind of thing,
And that's
or
what
a double tap to turn harder, stuff like that.
steering linearity or something like that. There's a couple of different of those settings in the game itself
Yeah,
that I've heard that people have use that to make a keyboard per se, or like you said, D-pad work. But if there's software out there that'll actually help that and makes it, react kind of like a steering wheel would, that's perfect. That's why those guys do well with it.
Well, yeah, in combination with what the game offers, with the dampening and the linearity and all that other stuff, and the input, and and then software behind the scenes, you really can tune this stuff in to be perfect to what you need. But
absolutely, yeah. Pretty good race, a little rough, but a couple of wrecks, but all in all, not too bad.
Yeah, everything happened early, like it did before. We had like 4 real quick cautions. We ran the first 15 or 16 laps. 12 of them were yellow, but then the rest of the race was fine. So that was obviously until that last lap wreck, but we got to see a green flag finish pretty much.
Yeah, would have been interesting to see like Garland Oaks that stop. I turned it back on to ask Bob a question, and now everybody's chatting to me. So, but anyways, it'd been interesting to see if he had some of the teammates that he had and the people that he had pushing him that got involved in that wreck, that whether Garland could have made it up to the front. Cause, I had faith in him. I think he could have. It all depends. You never know. Depends on what Craig Palmer does. John Godfrey does. You never know.
Yeah, it's close, and again, it's nice to see. Sorry, I was looking at something else there. It's nice to see some new names out here too. So it's just more fuel for the fire here at All Star Racing, and then with their open series coming back on a Wednesday nights here shortly in the new year, it'll be fun to watch that as well. I might have to join in on that, see if I can, how badly I can get beat. But it's always fun to play open setup.
That's one of the ones you probably won't whoop me up on, because I will be there every week.
Yeah, maybe I'll try it out. Do some testing, get my setups down.
There you go.
But if you don't, you have anything left to say before we pack this up?
I'm looking forward to next week, and getting these guys going. And you got Thursday night with RTG there, so just was a great night. I had a few more wrecks than I would kind of like to see, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, man, it's a great season. So yeah, of course, next week right here we'll be broadcasting race number 4 of 8 of season number 3 here at All-Star Racing Super Sundays. And of course, as always, thank you to Bryant Motorsport Auto Sales for the sponsorship, along with David Chin, Brian Wolf. Of course, everybody at All-Star Racing, everybody who watches this thing live and comments and interacts with us, and of course, all the drivers. Always fun to come out here and call a race like this, especially when there's 20 guys on a Sunday night. So, as always, we'll see you guys next week. And if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.